Lyon have been included in the Ligue fixtures for next season, despite being relegated to French football second tier because of their poor state in finances. In the schedule released on Friday, Lyon have been earmarked to play Lens in their opening game of the 2025-2026 campaign, which starts on the weekend of August 16-17. Lyon were provisionally demoted in November by the body which oversees the account of French football clubs. Club officials, including owner John Textor, met with the body earlier this week, but failed to convince the body that the club had improved their financial situation enough to lift the punishment. Last October, Textor's Eagles Football Group, which owns a 77% stake in Lyon, announced a debt of £422 million. Toyosi, this is something we're seeing recently. See what happened to Brescia, and a lot of clubs are beginning to fold up because of finances. We see what happened to Bordeaux also. Now it's Lyon, a very big club. One of those clubs that you can say, okay, the old French football, even before PSG came,
club in France,
before PSG came into limelight and all of that.
Yeah, it's always been Lyon and Marseille.
So we are seeing them now. They might not be playing in the league, but now, according to the fixtures we saw on Friday, they are to play Lens in the opening game of the weekend.
I think they are leaving the window open for Lyon to appeal, probably, aside from appeal, just come up with a miracle. We've heard rumors or reports that Paris Saint-Germain are willing to pay the fee of Bradley Barcola up front. Also, they sold Ryan Cherki to Manchester City. But all of these signings, they feel like a drop in an ocean. Like, it's still so small.
They might not be enough.
Yes, compared to the debt that they have on ground and the amount of money that they are still owing. In November, I think DNCG declared that they were owing about 400 million or so until after the season, and then it's like 505.1 million.
How?
And it's just crazy. We've always seen Lyon lately, if you notice, and it didn't come as a surprise for me. In the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen their transfers and their dealings. We've seen that they've been very shrewd in their business. It's so obvious that there's something wrong
in their club.
Yes, in the club, with their finances and with structure itself. Unlike before, the last time Lyon were in the Champions League was when they knocked out Manchester City, where they had when they had quarterfinals.
Okay, they had Memphis Depay.
Yes, they had Memphis Depay and some other players. And then since then, if you notice, they started selling their big players just to try and cover up the books.
They play Europa League and all of that.
Try to cover up the books and all of that. It was a sign that something was wrong financially and, of course, structurally with the club. So it's just sad to see that sometimes when you have financial takeover, when you have investors, it's still not enough. We're talking about Lyon, we're talking about Bordeaux, we're talking about this. You look at other leagues, you talk of...
Inter Milan have their own case.
Aside even Inter Milan, if you talk about La Liga, can you remember Malaga? Malaga in the League 2. In fact, they keep going down.
I think they're in the third division.
Yes, they keep going down and nobody's talking about them. That's to show you how bad it is. They usually used to have Di Michelis, Isco,
Kameni.
Aside from Kameni, there's this other striker that used to play for Real Madrid. Batista, I think it was Leo Batista or so, that used to play for Real Madrid. You know, they had good players.
Yes, they played Europa League.
They played semi-finals with Borussia Dortmund, and all of a sudden the finances just collapsed, and then they just went to the League 2. From there on, they just kept going down. Even Valencia suffered the same thing. Peter Lim had to come in. Investors. It's the football. Is interesting. It's profitable, but at the same time, it's a crazy business. If you know that you cannot sustain yourself all through and maintain that, at least that level of floating, where you can afford to go for competitions, also take care of your staffs and as well players' finances. It's a serious investment.
I think fans can also come in, because take a look at Rio Oviedo, who, of course, they are in the La Liga now. Santi Cazorla was part of the people who donated money so that they won't go bankrupt.
In fact, he offered not to receive any salary.
Before he came to the club to play, he wanted to play for free, of
course. But of course,
he
it's not allowed.
The lowest salary. But before then, he had donated money so that they won't go bankrupt. Now, from third division, second division, now they are in La Liga.
After 24 years.
Former players can probably help.
Lyon. True. That's why we're seeing the likes of, I think Kylian Mbappe bought shares in one French club. Cristiano Ronaldo is considering buying or, taking, we're seeing reports with Valencia. With Valencia. Aside, there's a Premier League club, but they're not revealing that yet. But the one that I'm very certain of is the Valencia deal, and the condition is that they have to stay up, which is not relegate. Then he'll probably buy a certain amount of shares because he has a relationship with the businessman there. That's Peter Lim. And we've seen other players like that. Even Vinicius Jr. was seeing musician Thames, you know, for Seattle in MLS. You know, so we're seeing things like this where we have influential people who have money to go around, come into sports, see how they can help. Saudi Arabian businessmen too, and what they call them, organizations too, are trying.
The Thailand
exactly. They're trying to come into sports to see what they can do. We're seeing them do it same thing for boxing, tennis.
You're gonna have to call.
They need to come into football
Dangote
too.
For them.
Sorry?
You're going to have to call Dangote. Because Dangote wanted to buy Arsenal at some point.
The Dangote issue, I don't know for how long that was, but maybe some people felt like, oh, it was not serious enough. No, some felt that it was serious, but yes, Korenke and Co were not willing to, you know, and I understand that Arsenal were not willing to just let it go like that, which is, you know, something that is normal for any big club.